Brighton. I'm the trade campaigner from Global Justice Now. And thank you so much for inviting me along to say a few words at this protest. CETA has been very much under the radar, especially compared with TTIP. You know, everyone's been talking about TTIP, and CETA has been pretty much uncontroverted. It hasn't been noticed. It's just been happening quietly in the sidelines. And a lot of other people are thinking, well, it can't be as dangerous. You know, surely Canada is not quite as bad a place to deal with as the United States. And I think this is a very mistaken assumption, really. I think there's firstly, when you think about CETA, when you think about all these trade deals that are going through, you have an easy way of corporations suing different governments, using offices, using presences in other countries. So any US company with an office in Canada can sue any government in the EU through CETA. So Coca-Cola, Schweppes, Monsanto, all these companies can easily exploit CETA to have a go at our governments. But also, when you talk to passers-by, you can ask people to name a Canadian corporation. It's very difficult, because the corporations we're dealing with in Canada aren't those who are selling on the high street, aren't those really popular brands which you might associate with America. What they are, though, is some of the most vicious, some of the most vindictive and litigious extractive companies in the world. Some of the mining and drilling and tar sands operations that are happening in Canada are very, very dangerous and are forced to be reckoned with, and we have to be very careful about these. I'll give you one example. It's Lone Pine Resources. Lone Pine, who are again exploiting this loophole of having a presence in another country, are actually suing their own government in Canada at the moment because there is a one-year moratorium on fracking under the St. Lawrence River. A Canadian company suing the Canadian government because it has an office in the United States of America, and that kind of thing will happen. It will happen here. If you look at the controversy happening at the moment with fracking in Lancashire and across the country, you'll see Canadian firms trying to get in on the act and make a few quid out of fracking. And there's more to it than that. There are companies now springing up who hope to make their money out of ISDS, hope to make their money not through any corporate ventures or production or services they might provide, but actually looking to make money by suing governments, and that will be their main source of income. So we have to be extremely careful about this. Now, it's 1 year since the signing of by negotiators of the I think we've got to say two things. Firstly, when it comes to a vote in the European Parliament, we have to lay down the challenge to any MEP who has an idea of voting for it, to actually ask them to put their hands on their heart and say they've read it. Any MEP who has not read CETA should not vote for it because they are operating from a position of ignorance. Now, I don't know any MEP who's got the time to read 1,400 pages of legalistic text, but I think that should be an expectation on anyone that wants to vote for it. Secondly, I'm sure we've spoken about it earlier today, is the state of ISDS. It has been a huge bone of contention in CETA. There's been the consultation with 97% of the nearly 150,000 responses in opposition to ISDS. We've had the recent vote in Strasbourg, which says we will reform it. Cecilia Malmstrom has recently come up to say, yes, we are going to introduce a different system for this. Now, the different system is hardly different, and it's a cosmetic change, to put it politely. But the fact is that ISDS and CETA is the old, unreformed, uncosmetically changed ISDS. And because of that, again, MEPs should be true to their word and voting against it. That's what we have to stick with. So I think there's lessons for the movement really, but lessons for us all. There's one thing, you cannot view TTIP in isolation. You don't have to just look at other trade deals, you have to look at what's going on. What's going on in Britain and across the continent. So when it comes to the privatisation of the NHS, that is working in collusion with what's happening in TTIP, what's happening in CETA, and the future impossibility and effective way of trying to roll back privatisations and trying to renationalise services which are very dear to our hearts. That's a real problem. Now CETA is working alongside NAFTA, alongside all the other acronyms and all the other trade deals you can see to open up this world for a corporate takeover. And that's what it is. It's a corporate takeover. I think we should stop calling it a trade deal. It's not about tariffs. It's not about border controls. This is about corporate power, raw and ugly. And it is going to be the biggest step forward in the neoliberal project that we have seen in a decade if this is allowed to go through. And I'm really heartened by the fact that this demonstration and many other protests are happening. If we look across, last night Greece passed the threshold of the European Citizens Initiative and became the 22nd country, I think it is, to actually to do that. There is widespread opposition, and it's happening across the continent, and it's happening on the other side of the Atlantic as well. So I think we should feel quite emboldened by this and say that our campaign is going to be built, it's going to be spread, we're going to go into every workplace, into every college, into every neighbourhood, make sure that people know about CETA, they know about TTIP, and they know about ISDS and all these other strange acronyms which are really complicated and struggle to get your head around. It's purposely complicated because they don't want us to understand it. The problem is we do. We know what it is, we know what it's there for, and we are opposed. So this is a great step forward. Take it out onto the lunching office workers on Fleet Street. They need to know as much as everyone else. If we can get the word out, it's not so much about turning people against TTIP or CETA. Once people understand what these things are, they are automatically against it because it goes against every decent thought in people's heads. So thank you for your time and thank you for organising this protest. I'll see you on the streets again soon, and we will make sure that we will defeat these neoliberal trade deals. Thank you so much.